Well, we've made it to Exodus. Got all the way through Genesis, and that's great. Only about 2 weeks. And now we are getting ready to start into a story again, another story that we all know. Chapter 1 of Exodus is just introducing us to the fact of the plight, actually, of the Israelites. Joseph, all of his brothers, Jacob, they've all died. There's generations have passed. The Pharaoh doesn't know anything about Joseph anymore. Those are all old stories. They don't know anything about them. And the people have just been prosperous as far as families are concerned. They've multiplied and multiplied. And so Pharaoh decides that he's got to do something about this. These people are so numerous that they could decide to join with one of his enemies and would help destroy Egypt. So he decides to enslave them. So he just turns them into his workers, and he decides the best way to reduce the number of them is just work them to death, literally. Work them hard as he can. And they do that, and they prosper anyway. They continue to grow. They continue to have more and more children and grow as a people. So then he goes to the midwives, and there's a big question about why only 2 midwives, and there's literally thousands and thousands of people. Most likely, these are the heads of the business units, let's call them, the folks who handle all the midwives. So this would be like their management team. At least that's the idea that the commentators come up with. But anyway, he says, whenever you are helping an Israelite woman deliver a child, if it's a boy, kill it. Basically, kill it in the womb. Just don't let it live. Let the girls live, and that's fine. They don't do that. They fear God, and they said, we're not going to do it. So then Pharaoh calls them back in, says, what's going on? They said, well, these Israelite men, they're really, really strong, and they don't even need midwives. So they're delivering the boys on their own. Finally, then, he simply tells the Egyptians, and most likely these are the folks who are their taskmasters, these are the soldiers and things like that. He says, if you see an Israelite baby boy, then you kill it. And so they are really struggling now, and they're starting to call out to God. Chapter 2 is we're introduced to Moses, and Moses' mom and dad are both from the tribe of Levi. She keeps the baby. She doesn't allow the baby to be killed. She hides him. After 3 months, he's too big to hide anymore, so she creates the basket, puts it where she knows the Pharaoh's daughter is going to be. I mean, this wasn't an accident. I don't think she just went out and threw it out into the Nile River and let it float along. She took it down to a relatively calm area, an area where she knew people would be. And she posts her daughter there to watch. Of course, the Pharaoh's daughter finds baby Moses. She is touched by his crying, and then sister goes and gets mom to wean him. And then we skip completely over to a much longer period of time. So time has passed. Moses has grown up. He encounters 2 situations, one where an Israelite is being beaten by an Egyptian and he kills him, and one where 2 Israelites are arguing with each other, and they accuse, Moses tries to stop them, they accuse him, they say, you're going to kill us like you did the Egyptian. Moses gets afraid. Pharaoh actually does find out about it, and he wants to kill Moses, so Moses runs off, and he's in Midian. He finds Jethro's daughter, he marries Jethro's daughter, and he's just living there as a shepherd. Way out in the countryside. And so it looks like Moses is just going to live a quiet life. He's not going to be back in Egypt like he was before. Finally, you get to chapter 3, and it is that super famous passage where Moses encounters the burning bush, a bush that's clearly on fire, but nothing is being consumed. And this is his conversation with God, where God is explaining to him that he is going to send him back to Egypt to deliver his people. Moses, takes a while for him to understand this is really going to happen. He pushes back on it very hard. So read closely, pay attention. This is only the first half of the burning bush. We'll pick up the chapter 4 tomorrow. But anyway, enjoy. I hope you're staying with us, and may God bless you.